in church.
Yeah, I think
On
with
a
time.
Monday morning.
With time to come.
Yes, I think for half an hour to say this.
Let me talk my talk now. Right? Welcome to the Keywords Podcast.
Tuesday evening.
So, because we are diverse, we have a multicultural society, etc. We look at Jamaica and Barbados. They are multicultural, yes, but they have similarities in larger numbers, right? We, on the other hand, as Trinbagonians, a lot of our culture comes from a lot of Americanized things.
Oh, yeah.
And we have lost our identity, or the identity is very difficult to find. Hence, the comment we made before the podcast, that people don't know who Bunji Garden is. So when we now try to poppify everything, it's now going to be in the next 10, 15 years, the poppified is now going to be the standard. And then we don't know who the Mokojambi is. We don't know who the Midnight Robber is, because the poppification has been so vast. Because everybody have a platform now, and we'll forget about what our original identity was.
In it. And
but
for things to
something-
evolve, and I'm not trying to be a purist in
Yeah.
it, but I feel oftentimes as Trinbagonians, we're too quick in a sense to, and I use the term loosely, sell out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because by making it easier for someone else to consume, what are we doing to what
This
is
what I
inherently
wanted to
ours?
talk about.
So we on the
Let's
same
go.
time. All
Yeah,
right.
Hear this, eh?
Yeah.
So I want to pause here, right? Because I think this is probably the second episode. This legitimately could be a debate here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
And I think we should have it.
All right.
So
Time
clearly
out.
both are on the same side. But I'm not sure where you stand, but I'm hoping you can argue this side as well.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I
It's
ready.
all the way wrong. And actually, I'm kidding. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, but what I was gonna say is this goes back to what I was saying. This goes back to what I was saying about having simultaneous mediums
Correct.
that highlight both, right? Because what tends to happen with us is we hop on a trend, whether it be poppifying or Afro or whatever,
Or dance
and then that
qualifying.
just becomes the identity of the artist, of the sound after.
Valid
And
point.
they direct all of their resources in that direction and forget about what we are saying are the roots of what
Correct.
we are doing, right?
Uh-huh.
But why not have them both and
Yes.
use the popularity of one to highlight the other? Because as a music,
Yes.
I'm a music lover.
Yes.
And when I'm into a genre, I'm into a genre. I want to know who are the top names in the genre, but I also want to know who are the underground names
Correct.
of that
Yeah.
genre.
Correct.
But I don't know where to look for it.
And the thing too as well with that is
Use your words.
appreciate it.
Look at I'm finding it.
This might be hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take. I think people are even the proponents of our culture through literally systematic colonialism, enslavement, all the things, even the proponents of our cultures, even the ambassadors are insecure about it.
Yeah.
Because why are we treating this so precious? Why do we think it's something we need to cuddle and protect like that? Can't we realize that, my guy, this is inevitable? It is literally in our DNA. Like, why I like the popification of it is because I have no doubts about it that the other side of it will stay. It's too powerful to not
To be lost.
yeah.
But what I'm
Okay.
saying is
It's like concentrate.
we can
Correct.
find a way
Yeah.
to highlight it together
Of course,
with. It doesn't
both.
have
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
an either
Yeah.
or
And-
scenario.
And,
Yeah.
you know, just to kind of really bring it back to
I'm real
what we
smart, but
started talking about is that whole element of culture shock.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I'm not against it. I struggle with
Yeah.
it. I do. Because, and you didn't have to call me out like that and drag me by my hair. But, you know, for me, thinking about it and being as aware of myself as I can be, I am worried
Yeah.
that it's going to be so diluted. But if hair is where you get the crudest, pun intended, material, then the work that we are doing in the culture shock world, in the ambassadorship of all things Trinbagonian, once that work is consistently elevated, then I do believe that the two can simultaneously
Well,
exist.
it can.
And I will say, like, I think both of us are on the opposite sides of this, right? Because my insecurity probably lies, well, for it to be economically viable, it need to be, the white man need to say, you know what I mean? Right. And that's why I think it's, even in this room, it's important to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because everything will be a nail to a hammer. Everything will be a screw to a screwdriver. So you're a hammer, you pong the nail, you'll always be focused on that.
Every year we go hard.
Hard like nail. And I think that's real important.
Yeah. What were you gonna? I saw your brain. I think your thoughts started popping out.
Yeah, because I definitely I don't think I'm insecure, but I have seen the erosion of other parts of our culture where it's not even identifiable anymore.
Right.
And I'm wondering if it's just gonna take a longer time for this to happen.
Right.
So how can we bring back some of those tenets of our culture that were lost? And can we ensure that this one isn't lost? Because
what's an example of it? Because I think that's what I feel in my core. Mm-hmm. I want to hear it all the way out.
Simple cultural understanding of, I would say, just regular human manners that we have as a society. Care for one another. The mere fact that we Instagram and live stream somebody getting beat up as opposed to trying to be involved, that kind of stuff, or stop it. Those types of the humanity behind being a Trinbagonian is being eroded, as opposed to just being a well-known, this is my video and I get likes for it.
Right.
It's a global thing, yeah. That's not
Agreed.
just a Trinidadian
It's a human thing.
It's a global thing, yeah. It's a societal thing, yeah.
But I do agree we should hold the Caribbean and particularly our country to a higher standard.
Because here's my thing, right? I agree to an extent. There are certain places that you can still go, certain islands that you can still go to and leave the top door open.
Grenada.
Right?
Dominica. They are also poor. And it's not a knock. Like, we have to understand that it is the biggest. I'm sorry to cut you across, actually. So I'll just say this and I'll go back to it. Right?
That's fine.
What defines culture is not really artists and it's economists. Like macro and microeconomy, it has way more implications of like social phenomena than we think a painter has.
I can respect that. Yeah. And I can agree and understand what you mean. But at the same time, if we are fierce keepers or protectors or caretakers, that's the better word. Because it's, protectors mean that there's a threat, right? Keepers means that you don't want to share it. It's not that. I think it's caretakers. If we are aiming to be the cultural caretakers, right, of all things Trinbagonian, even with the economic impact or the things that are inevitable in growth, we will not lose. Or it'll be a slower loss or a slower thing. But when everybody's just on the same train of westernization, right? Don't know if that's the word I made it the way.
It is today. It is today.
It means that we become okay with, as you say, leaving things behind. And that's why I asked for the example, because it's like, my brain went to Patois and empowerment, because that's another element, right? Yeah. How do we bring that back? Yeah. There are people doing relentless work. Big up Dr. Ferreira in UE linguistics, doing the work to be sure that things can exist. But then why is it that Jamaican Patois is there, Haitian Creole, the ABC Islands, Papiamento, all of those pieces, because they have been gatekeepers and protectors. And that comes back to my comment of, I feel like we too eager to allow it to be watered down.
So
I see where you're coming from.
I'm just going to say one thing. Like that you said, caretaker.
Yeah.
And I just want to lighten up the room a little bit with something. Because I don't know when we decided to do a pestle analysis.
Yeah.
And what's happening in the industry.
We're smart. But these are things that impacted.
But my take on it is I'm smack dab in the middle, neutral about all of these things, because as someone who does multiple things, I've been told my entire life that you need to choose. But why? Why do I need to choose? Why do we have to puppify this? Why do we have to have... why do we have to choose one lane? I can walk on multiple lanes, and I can be just as fine and just as successful and just as good as multiple, all of them. Because I mean...
Never mind, we could drop it.
Because I've done media. I dance, I do fitness, I work in corporates, I've done all of these things. And my entire career in each one of these top heads, elders would tell me, well, you need to pick one. And I would say to them, no. Why can't I be the corporate media personality that loves to dance and loves her culture? Why can't I just be that? Why can't soca music be multi-genre but also has its root sound as well, that we identify as our root sound? Why can't it be that? Right? I don't think we need to...
No, the answer to why is because of what Kemba is saying. It's because of fear of it's being watered down.
Well, the reason for that, I'll try to give you a visual. This is from Monopoly. It's one red house, four red houses, one red hotel, four greenhouses.
4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel.
You cannot build 4 houses at the same time. You have to be able to focus on this house. This house is sustainable. It creates income, and now we can go on to the next one.
Right.
If you only have funding for one house, if we now have funding and investment to build 4 houses at the same time, you can build your townhouses at the same time. But I do believe, do we have the right investment to try to build all those avenues at the same time? Because if we don't have it, we'll have 4 unfinished
houses,
derelict houses that will be taken from us and cause problems.
So I would just like to, I agree with what you are saying. It's a very powerful analogy. And I don't think that we have funding for all 4 houses, but I think we have 4 people that have funding for a house each that can collaborate with each other to build a housing settlement.
But another another thing, and this will have to be another episode, right? Do these 4 owners or 4
talk to each other?
Do they care to talk to each other?
No.
Do they even want to be on the same compound? Do you know what I mean?
3,000 NGOs in Trinidad doing the same thing, just separate and failing at it.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Let me just say
Not
that.
about failing.
That right there, that statement that you made is the actual problem. Everything else that we spoke about is a byproduct of that.
Correct.
That is the actual problem. Why aren't those 4 builders talking to each other? Because they land right next to each other. There are 4 lots right next to. Why are they not talking to each other?
Because it's
That
more
is the problem.
profitable for one person. Because when you were giving the
It's
analogy,
selfish.
I was saying to myself, I was like, okay, maybe we don't have money for all 4 houses. We have money for 2 houses, but which 2 are they putting more energy into?
Yeah.
Hashtag economics, right? Micro, macro. What's sellable? What's sustainable? And it breaks my heart. It pains me because the things that seem to be sustainable, that's viable on the outside, are not the things that help us to remain, pun intended, rooted in what it means to be Trinbagonian and in what it means to have culture and be shot by it
What is our
in
culture
its purest
mandate?
form.
My question is, what is our culture mandate? First of all, what is our country mandate? Whether we change from yellow to red, what is our country mandate? What is our cultural mandate? Whether we have no demasquerade this year or not, what is our cultural mandate to ensure whoever has the decision to make, this has to be done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This has to be done. This is your country. This is your culture. It must follow through. So we need to understand collectively what is our mandate to ensure it does happen.
Yeah.
I feel as though we don't know what those mandates are.
Facts, and we've never known, and that's why it's become so easy for it to just be broken off.
Correct.
And sold.
So to me, this kind of goes back to, we're way past the why and the what.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
how.
The how, and I think that's pretty powerful, Keevan. Like, despite party lines, despite anything, what do we as a country come together, and not in a symbolic way, a legit town hall way. There are surveys, census, we could literally agree on this thing.
An actionable
What
item,
is our mandate? Because it's a strategy, right? We need to have objectives.
Yeah.
And these objectives, we need to understand and appreciate that this is way past any house or hotel or party. Because to be honest, I think Jamaica does that really well.
Yeah, because they are so rich in their connection to their country.
Yeah, they are.
Listen to them sing the anthem, listen to us sing the anthem.
Right.
That is enough for me. When they say Jamaica, boom, everybody says boom.
Yeah.
To ask Trinbagonians at any function to sing the national anthem, it is very difficult. Unless it's probably for
together.
football, they can't.
Yeah, for football.
So
Yeah.
where is the passion that we have for our country the same as Jamaica? So
Yeah,
Deep,
for
deep,
sure. And
we
the,
have to go
the
deeper than
how,
that.
I mean,
So,
This is
I just want to plug Culture Shock right there. With what you're saying, right? Because we've lost the know. They don't know. They don't know what it is. And the idea behind what Culture Shock with Bella and Kemba Jo is to show you what those roots are and where they lie.
Yes.
Because we've lost the map to where the roots are.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the journey that we've started with this now is to bring light to
back to
correct
to those
back
roots
to,
because it's still there, you know.
Yes.
Or we've not lost anything, you know. It's still there. We've lost the visibility.
Yeah. So to answer the how, you know, we could go around in circles. I am not anywhere near Christine Kangaloo or any other sitting prime minister, right?
Yeah.
But I think part of I like that. Part of the how, which is why Culture Shock exists, is to, as Bella, you summed it up perfectly, is to create and recreate that visibility so that however you choose to continue exploring or poppifying or selling out, right? Our work is in making sure that you know what is there. We can't control what you choose to do after that, but we can control what we showcase, the richness of it in Carnival, outside of Carnival, 365 Trinbagonian culture.
Agreed. Just want to say, pop is short for popular. So all I say is make it popular. That's why I say, you know what I mean?
You see, every time he said, I was immediately quiet because every time he said all I want to say, it went into a whole different conversation after.
No, you're fine. No, but that's an important thing. And that words, I'll try to keep it. But words are important.
Correct.
So I hear you say popification. I'm like, what at all?
No, I also mean that too.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying is that we need to have all.
Right.
In anything, a good sign of a good industry is variance, is different things.
Loki.
Correct. Keevan, what are you going to say?
Yeah, Keevan, please talk. Please talk. We want to hear your voice.
He's the observer and then he just come out and drop the thing.
No, y'all keep going in. I think I'm still formulating my thoughts here. But I really like the conversation, first of all. I like the fact that we are asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
And when I spoke about the country mandate and the cultural mandate, I think it is so interesting that we have the ability to come together to agree, you know, but we just lost the ability to find what's important.
We fight because to fight for the same thing.
We will not fight for the fact that we're losing some natural resources in our country.
Right.
But Nicki Minaj, husband, push Iowa, and all of us came together as a unit.
We were never that unified ever in life.
I screamed on Twitter for like a week.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I see our country is like the moon for me, right? I'll explain. During elections, it's very glaring. You can see it. That's a full moon. Right? During Carnival time, it's like half a moon.
Right.
Waxing,
waning.
It's not that full. Really. You understand?
I like moon.
The rest of the year is probably, you know,
the
crescent, right? And I struggle with that because we clearly accept the fact that during those times, this is what we have to be.
Right.
We have to be like that. Why? Right? So why do we have to be like that?
Let's just take a poll here. And I know we represent a specific subset of the market, economic system. Who's we? Because do you live like that?
No, I don't live like that.
Do you live like that?
But
do you live like that? I don't live like that.
Right, but
we are 4 of how many?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
So we meaning, have we tried to change that?
Do we feel powerful enough
to change it?
To change it.
Can it be? You can't force somebody to do something.
No, but we can exert our power and we can stand in our confidence very firmly planted and say yes or no, enough is enough. But we have to do it collectively. So we are 4, but we need a couple zeros on top of that 4 to start getting that change to be felt.
This is not
and then influenced.
Yeah. This is not rhetorical framing. I'm legitimately asking.
Again, I'm the one that just plugging in the real problems in what we're talking about there, right? I believe that the zeros are there, but there's no bridge
Right.
for those zeros to come together.
To be connected.
Yeah.
And that
Hence,
is the problem.
do we feel
what is the
powerful
bridge?
and connected and confident enough?
And that's kind of what I was going to get at, because my entire business and belief system is built around community.
Right.
I think when I go on live and I see 10 people, it is not a failure. It is, I cannot believe 10 people here in this room right now. You know what I mean? 4 of us just sitting on right here right now. If 4 people comment on this, like, to me, it's so powerful. When you say those zeros, I thinking, maybe I'm naive, but I don't need them. I could do it. Like, I genuinely think, not for the sake of humility, not 4 of us, 4 other random people.
Right.
I think they could do it.
Okay, I see what you mean.
It's 1.3 million. We have the influence, and especially people, storytellers, media personalities. Like, and this is the question I wanted to ask, when we think about all of this change, who's people who's been doing it?
Yeah.
Is it 100,000 people? I don't think so.
It starts with
one.
I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard you try.
Don't Poppy Fiber podcast. Right? Don't Poppy Fiber podcast.
It's called diversity.
Not disrespect Lincoln Park.
And one thing we don't need is rock soca. I could
Imagine that. But we need all 10 on Sky.
kind of cooler.
We need all 10 on Sky. We need all 33
Yes,
robots.
very much.
But his is jazz.
I need
It's
a
not
rock
jazz,
soca.
though. It's not really rock. It's
I need a
jazz.
rock soca though.
No.
Listen,
The
what-
industry has to be robust. We want all. Right? Bring him in. Yeah.
Right,
You
no,
walk in, you pass to the stage like this now. Come on.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It really does just start with one person or one subset of people. And I do believe that we have that within the culture community. They are existing and they are working so hard.
Correct.
Whether it's designing a costume, producing a costume, being at the Savannah every single
Correct.
day. Shouts to Jamie Bagu, by the
Oh,
way.
Jamie.
People like Jamie are out there.
Correct.
People like Stanek is out there, Gerald Forbes and Taika Giselle. They are doing
Correct.
really important work in the culture space. And that National Drama Association of TNT
Correct.
getting involved to have those Cambule riots come back out.
I'm raising my hand.
Bella in the
I'm
back.
raising my hand.
Go ahead.
Because I will raise my hand usually when I feel like I have a very important message in the middle of the conversation, right? The names that you called there are pillars of our culture in different industries. I believe, and I'm going to throw this mission back on everybody sitting in this room, I believe that those pillars need to be bridged. And our generation, what we are doing, what Culture Shock is doing, what you are doing, Keevan, with your platform, what you are doing with your platform as well, we are the glue or that sticky agent that is going to bring that together.
Yeah.
Because those generations before us, they were very self. I need to do this by myself. And they don't
And for
think
myself.
that they can step out of that. So
Or
they're
there's
going to
space
sit
for more than
with
one.
this, they're going to sit with this culture and this information and say to themselves, this is what I know, but nobody going to listen to me.
I'm an avid Miles Monroe fan, right? And Miles spoke about leadership. And leadership, just like ambassadorship, the focus should not to, in essence, hoard the information, but ambassadorship, just like leadership, is to create more leaders,
Absolutely.
right? It's not to create a following. So I very few times I call people who are on my platform, my fellow followers, is my leaders, because what I give to you, you have to spread, right?
Wow.
And it's also the goal of leadership is to become unnecessary.
Facts.
When you are the only person who has the information and you die with it, you did nothing for us,
Facts.
right? It's an injustice. So the focus of ambassadorship is always to share the information so that in your passing or your absence, it still can continue. Leadership is immortality. The reason why, my dad,
Right.
he passed.
On Monday
But I know-
morning, boy.
Yeah.
Amen.
Still leadership is immortality.
But no, facts on that.
When you home and your parents not home,
Yeah.
at least you had to look up. You got to make sure this off, etc., because they have given you that culture of doing things in their absence. So those who are holding, whether you're old or young, it's not to say that I want to remain relevant, right? The relevance is not important. Your goal here is to die empty.
Yes.
Right? We don't want you to be inside the grave with all the information because we can't talk to you.
So I have one question for the viewers, though. Just one question. What would they like to see happen that would make them say, you know what, I want to do that?
Yeah.
What are we missing?
Cool.
But what can Culture Shock do? What can Keevan do? What can creator do that is going to get your attention and say, you know what, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
What is missing?
That's true.
And also, we asking them to do more things. I would like for everybody, what is that cultural mandate? What do you want to see? Like, comment.
Yeah.
What is the mandate? Comment it. Yeah.
I'll go first.
Okay. Everybody.
Are we doing that?
Let's
Yeah,
all
my
right.
cultural
All right, cool.
mandate, and I'll keep it cute for the carnival space. 100% soca.
Interesting.
100% soca during carnival. Thanks.
Don't ever ask me to support the culture. Let's support, no. You are not somebody begging for money. Have more respect. Your story, your marketing, your heart, your soul needs to be, you cannot miss this.
Cultural mandate. Don't make Carnival the greatest thing. Make Trinidad culture the greatest thing.